Look at those fancy graphics acting like 929 was special. Really, this is nothing special. But it is the first time that I have attempted to do something with my arms and pressing motion since I've hurt my shoulder. Here you've got Glenn doing the floor press, and he's knocking them out. But what we wanted to see here is, could I do some pressing where we limited the travel of the elbow and supported at the bottom and kind of allowed it to just stop there and press back up. So as you can see, Glenn's having no problem with 225, knocking out quite a few reps. And one of the things, he is still sick, so he's dealing with some congestion and stuff, but that didn't slow him down at all with the floor press. And I'm trying the wide grip here that I've been working on through this injury and prior to taking some time off. And first 2 reps felt alright, but it was feeling a little bit too wide, and it was actually messing with the front of my shoulder. So I only got a couple of reps in here, and I decided, you know what, bring in my grip a little bit more. But that last rep, I was also starting to feel it in the back of the shoulder where the injury is. Now, the only reason I attempted this is because it was feeling a lot better and I wasn't getting pain from moving it around. But this right here, it was a little bit too much, and we decided to lower the weight down. And Glenn, again, he was kind of sick, so he didn't mind taking a little bit of weight off, doing some floor press for him. And he has still been doing overhead pressing and benching during my time of recovery and taking completely off of all pressing movements, which is killing me. I hate not being able to press. No log press, no overhead press. I don't mind missing the bench press, but I do really want to get a competition in. I want to try and do a powerlifting competition here this winter or maybe next spring, since it's the off season. But here you go. I went back to a little bit narrower grip, but still wider than I was benching prior to this year. Last year, when I was unable to walk around because of my leg injury, I was doing a lot of benching, and as it's an accessory movement, I was focusing on a more narrow grip, about halfway between the smooth and the knurling. And first couple reps on here, no problem. The last one just started feeling in my shoulder. So that was it. I called it. No more pressing. And what we decided to do here is, it's kind of like a Romanian deadlift, I guess you could say. What we were trying to do is something that I saw super training video with George Lehman, and he talked about doing deadlifts like this, but you weren't supposed to go all the way up. With Glenn, his sticking point has always been in the last 4 or 5 inches of his lockout, so we decided, you know, go down as far as you can to where your sticking point starts, and then come all the way up, which is a little bit different than what George Lehman was talking about. However, I think that is going to be beneficial for Glenn. You can see he was done there. And same thing for me, you know, going down as far as I can. And it looks very similar to a Romanian deadlift. I think we're bending the knees a little bit more than you would do in your traditional Romanian deadlift. But I'm just trying to get as many reps as I can in on this exercise. This is something that we have not done a lot of. Any of my training, Romanian deadlifts and even stiff leg deadlifts have been something that I've avoided, and I think it's come to hurt me in the deadlift. My deadlift's nowhere near where I wanted it to be, and I think my fear of re-injuring my back in the Romanian deadlift was causing me to give up some hamstring and lower back strength. And stiff leg deadlifts I can't do anyways because of the hamstring flexibility, but I could do stiff leg to blocks, and I think that's something that may need to do, or we can keep doing Romanian deadlifts like this, which, now that I'm a couple weeks ahead of when I'm making this video, I did do a couple more Romanian deadlifts, and I think I'm going to keep them in the training program. And Glenn's having a little bit of difficulty here with the reps. He's just done. And again, this is something we don't normally do very many reps in deadlifts. And I also think that that is something that I need to work on. Well, both Glenn and I need to work on in training, is just building some more endurance in the lower back and hamstrings. I know that was something I was worried about in the strongman competition that was coming up, and it didn't end up holding me back. The only event that I really had a problem with was the front carry, which I was worried about, but the barrel was a little bit too big for me and I hadn't practiced with it, and that killed me. And the overhead press, and that was again implement. Now, this is actually what George Lehman had said to do, so just again keeping it in that time under tension, no relaxation, working from a little bit below the knees to a little bit above the knees, which is where a lot of people get stuck at. Just trying to build that, get some endurance in there, some strength in there, really work on that sticking point. And it was interesting. That's definitely not something that we've done before. I mean, look at that, getting some reps in. Although we did take the weight down at this point. I think this is only 225. So it's really nothing impressive. But again, trying to get familiar with this, trying to get some reps in, and get familiar with the movement. Next time I do these, I'm going to try and go up maybe 315. Again, you want to keep the reps high. George Lehman, I think he said he does 550 for sets of 20. Now this is something new. It looks really weird. It felt really weird. He recommended doing rows a lot more upright and pulling it almost to your hip crease there. And it was definitely weird. And my back was terribly sore after this workout. I do not know if it was from the rows or from everything else we did, but that was interesting.
Well, after Richard recommended getting a log for doing the pull down, I happened to remember that we have this neat little attachment thing here, which goes across the bar. So we're going to try that out for pull down, see if it does anything at all. I'm going to guinea pig this thing.
Alright, sorry about the terrible camera quality here. This is awful. I need to work on some lighting apparently.
Okay.
It is starting to get darker earlier now, so we're going to have to be working with the lights every time. Richard was definitely right about using something for your legs. This allowed us to do a lot more weight than we've been able to do, so definitely need to have something to brace your legs and keep you down in the pull-ups when you are trying to use some more weight. And with me, I actually started to bend the bar a little bit, but nobody wants to watch full slow speed pull downs, so we're kind of going through this fast. You can see we tried doing some really heavy pull downs. Glenn couldn't even get it down all the way. It's lifting me up in the air, and it was just fun. Definitely no reps were counted that day. Range of motion's terrible, but again, just having some fun, trying to get some weight in there. Pull downs are something that I've had trouble with ever since I tore my lats, and definitely need to get those stronger. That's going to be very important as I continue doing strongman. Also with the deadlift and even the bench press, lats are pretty important as a shelf for your bench press and at the bottom of the movement. So what we're doing here is just a drop set, as many as you can, drop some weight. You guys know the drill. But felt really good. And like I said, between everything that we did here, this was the most sore my back's been in a while, and it definitely did something. So I'm not going to say that we used perfect form on these, or that using that heavy weight was what was responsible for it, but between trying the Romanian deadlifts, which we don't do, the weird rows, and heavy pull downs, it definitely hit the right spots. Now we go into some tricep press downs, and with the pulley, just getting some arm work in there. And this is the first time we tried this using our coat rack machine to do some bicep curls. And you can see Glenn's doing a pretty good job getting it to work for him. When I tried doing it, the machine was going all over the place. I'm going to say it's because I'm really strong, but we all know it's because I weigh significantly more than Glenn, and I was just pulling the machine backwards with my weight. So I just gave up and couldn't do it. And here's Glenn being sick.
What's up?
I don't know. Let me breathe for a while. Well, for one, the cord likes to get caught a little and you have to pick up the whole machine.
Yeah? What else? You said for one. That means there's a for two. What's the for two, Glenn? How's your elbow?
Not good.
Holy crap.
The rope makes it hard.
Just like all felt terrible.
Yeah, the rope is harder.
I'm taking that back off. Why would the rope be that much harder?
I don't know. I told you though.
Yep, I definitely had to lower the weight because I fail. Ego lifting right there. Don't do it. But, you know, it felt good. It's been a long time since we've done these. Trying really hard to not move my shoulder. And actually, just something like that, I actually started to feel it in my shoulder, which is not something that I wanted.
Ouch! What the heck? No, it's just at a weird angle. There's out, there's in. It just sucks out here, I think.
Yeah, I would use a little bit of a curve.
Yeah.
7. 8. Okay, we've stopped doing curls at this point.
What is this? Bicep curls? Yeah, I can't press, so decided that we're going to try this. But those of you who don't know, bicep curls really mess up my forearm. I broke both bones in my left forearm, and for whatever reason, whenever I do bicep curls, just really aggravates it, makes it swell up and bruise. And showing Glenn, if I could do it with a neutral grip, like a hammer curl, it'd be alright. But I'm just trying to see, can I do these, get them done. And did some more curls. And some more tricep extensions, this time with a straight bar, which for whatever reason is significantly easier. And these did not bother my shoulder, which was good. Look at that. In this terrible lighting with the shadow, I don't look as fat. I think we should do that all the time. What do you guys think? Or do you guys want to see Glenn? Yeah. Should probably have some light on Glenn, right? Look at him taking the weight off there. Definitely cheating. To finish up, I wanted to do some static hold hyperextensions. As I mentioned, I think that we have really neglected the endurance of the lower back and the ability to statically hold. It's become very apparent as we try and do these rowing variations and Romanian deadlifts where you're holding your back in that static position for long periods of time, multiple reps. Definitely it's the first thing to fatigue. So I wanted to do these, and I really liked them. Just holding it for a count to 10, not 10 seconds, just 1 to 10. Definitely going to try and keep these in and add to them. And try and go a little bit further each time. Eventually get some weight in there, just to try and improve that endurance. And when I'm inside, I think I'm going to be doing some static hold Supermans. And look at me! I look like a seal! That's awesome! I could go be in a circus. I'm going to do the same thing to finish this out. But I will say that I'm very disappointed that he did not attempt the seal maneuver, which adds quite a bit of difficulty, I will say. And I really wanted you guys to let me know who made the better seal. But this was a pretty good workout, something different than what we normally do. And just going to keep trying to do some variations, have some fun with workouts while we're in the off season, really hit weaknesses, and try out new lifts that we haven't done. And we're going to keep the squats and the deadlifts and all that good stuff in there too. But definitely want to keep bringing in other things. And that's it. Have a good one, everybody.
My foot almost slipped and I almost face planted it. Super.